Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm just so excited because I got my order from Heartfelt Creations today. And I know it says I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up, but I gotta say, I do like the shaped flowers and the stamps and things from Heartfelt Creations. They came out. You're gonna love this if you're like me and you find yourself you're getting short on time, or maybe your hands don't work so well all the time. But these are flower shaping molds. They have one for the 3D, they're 3D poinsettia. And let's see, I did a couple of them here. I don't know. These don't show up too well because I didn't color them. But can you see the shaping that's on these? This is all done with the mold. Look at these little points, these little holly leaves. Now, do you think I'm going to sit and I'm going to do these? My hands would be aching, and it would take days to do a decent amount of these little poinsettias. Um, but that's with the poinsettia mold. Then they have a 3D floral basics shaping mold. Let me get this out. This is the hardest part, getting it out of the package. There we go. And they look like this. There's two parts. And on the top, they have three little legs. So you can't put these together wrong. It's got three little spots to put those three legs in. And they just fit on like this. And let me do one real quick. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I'll do a couple of these daisies. This is from the from Heartfelt Creations too. And I'm just going to snip in between because I broke down, got some of their cutting dies, because again, I had been sitting and fussy cutting their flowers out. I had some quite a few of their stamps actually, and like I said, I'm short on time and my hands don't always want to work the way they ought to. Let's see, that one will fit in there. And we'll do this one too. Do a couple of them. And so I broke down and got the cutting dies that goes with the stamps that I have. And this is a whole lot better than having to fussy cut these out. Let's see, I'm going to have to put that in the bigger one here. Okay, so you put them in the die, or in the mold like this. Give them little spritz of water. And incidentally, this is these are made with the Stampin' Up cardstock. This is I believe it's Wisteria Wonder. You put your top on like so. Now you don't use your platform. I'm gonna run this through my my Sizzix Big Shot. You don't use your platform. You see, this will take the place of your platform. And it tells me in their instructions, you use one of your plates, and then you're supposed to use a whole bunch of cardstock shims. Well, I tried it with a second plate, and it goes through just fine in my machine. It's not hard to crank, and so I don't feel that it's going to damage anything. But you'll have to kind of play around, figure out for your machines what works for you. They do have like various machines on their website that it tells you what they recommend to use. But this is what's working for me. So let me take the lid off here, and we have our flowers up. That one shifted a little bit, but look at the dimension you get on these. Look at this. I could just pop these together as they are, or normally I use this mat, which is kind of like a mouse pad It's actually the embossing mat for my cuddle bed. But I don't need to use that anymore. Look, I just take my little shaped flowers here and my ball stylus, and I can just give them a... Oh, this is the foam that comes from, oh, what is that thing called? That you roll over your intricate die cuts. Can't think of what it's called, but it's foam. It's just thick foam. And I'm just going to give them a poke in the center like that, and they're ready to go. Is that not amazing? I mean, I could spend a good amount of time doing this. So now these are wet, so I'm going to put them aside. They have to dry. You want them to dry. And I find that when you wet your paper when you're making flowers and just set it aside and let dry, that they're stiff and they're good and sturdy. But let's see. I did these too. This is my second time doing this video. The first time one of my cats danced across the keyboard while I was trying to save it, and it just disappeared. So I did this one also. Now this is with Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper. This is not the cardstock, and that's thinner. And I just inked around the edges with early espresso on this, and I did this with this. This is the Floral Basics shaping mold, and it just gives you a crinkly, ruffly edge on here. And there's another one, say a little smaller. And is that not adorable? That's going to be really the cutest flower. So I found that it works well with the Stampin' Up! Cardstock, the designer paper. I used another cardstock that was lightweight, and it's about the weight of the Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, and I embossed it. Now, I had a problem with these because the paper was thin and the embossing kind of stuck in the molds. Now, this I used the rose shaping mold on, but I found a way to get around this, and I just cut a piece of tissue paper, put it underneath my flower in the mold, and then it didn't stick in the mold, and I did not wet it either. So don't wet, put tissue paper under it, and you can use it for embossed. And this is just the basic black, well, it's just a black cardstock. It's a lightweight cardstock. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but it's a kind of a flimsy, I feel, cardstock, but I embossed it with the gold, and I think these are gonna make such pretty roses. So let's see. Now, you don't have to have all the fancy stamps and dies from Heartfelt Creations. I just love them, so I've been buying them over time. Let's see. These are some that I did with the flower punch. I used the Stampin' Up! The Pansy Punch to make these. And this is a rose. This is from the rose mold. And I also used the Petite Petals Punch, which is now retired. But if you have other flower punches, then you can use those in here too. Now these I did from the with the Floral Basics shaping mold. You see, those came out nice too. I didn't poke them in the center. I should do that before they're totally dry. Okay, so I did that. So I've used the cardstock from Stampin' Up. I've used the Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. That came out well. Let's see. The roses, I used 100-pound cardstock. And the ones from the Floral Basics, I used, no, it was for the poinsettias, I used 65-pound cardstock. Okay, so I've tried it in different cardstocks. Let's see, I did these. Look how pretty those came out. That's using the rose mold, and I'll show you that in just a second. But this I used just the regular Whisper White cardstock from Stampin' Up, and I used I stamped it with Night of Navy. Then I colored it all in using the Nouveau embellishment mousse, cornflower blue, I believe it is, and then just sponged on the edges, just the edges of the petals with Night of Navy again, and that's how I did those. But let's see. You want to see the rose one, I'm sure. But I had sat down, I made, you guys see this, I made all these envelopes full of different kinds of flowers in anticipation of getting these. I was just so excited about getting these because I have visions of lots of beautiful flowers all over my cards in the future. So let's see. Oh, there's some roses. We'll use some of these. Okay, so let me get this out. Just the plate out for the roses. I'll put that aside. And I'll get some of these. Let's see, there's a little one. Put that in there. And there is a certain way you're supposed to put the roses in. Because they have... Oh wait, these are not the roses. These are petunias. Haha. Well, you know what? I'm going to use them in the rose mold anyway. But the roses do have a certain way that they go in. Because there are two wonky petals on the roses. And they have to go in the mold in that spot. You'll be able to see it in the mold. Let's give them a little mist. So we'll have rose-shaped petunias. Okay, so I have my... Oh, dummy me. I didn't open this up before I showed you, before I put these in. Duh. Don't do this at home. Okay, so I have them in place. I've given them a little mist with water, and I have my little feet will go in here in each of these little spots. Press that down, and then put my one plate underneath. And put another plate on top, and just run that through my Big Shot. And here we go. And we'll just tap those out, and there they are. You see that nice dimension on those? I can just take these now. Take them on my little pad here. And all I need is one good poke in the center. Just like that. And they're ready to be put together. Make a beautiful little flower. Look at this. So pretty. So yes, I think these are a wonderful thing. Especially, like I said, if you're like me and your hands don't always work real well, maybe you're a little short on time or a lot short on time, then you can make shaped flowers too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I give a big thumbs up on these flower shaping molds. And from the way they talked on the Heartfelt Creations videos, I get the feeling that they're going to be coming out with more of them. And these three are just the beginning, and I'm very excited about that. Now, I got my three as a bundle on Good Friday. They had, because they launched it that day, they had a special deal going, but they sell these individually, so you don't have to buy all three of them. You could just get one, and that's that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there are any Stampin' Up! Products that you'd like to purchase, you can do that through me. On my go to either my Facebook page or my website. You might want to go to my Facebook page anyway, because I put things up there that anytime I see something that I think you all might be interested in, I'll post those on that kind of thing on there too. Not necessarily Stampin' Up! Things, but a lot of times it is. And all my videos I put on there too. And if you liked my video, then hit that like button down below. If you have any questions or comments about the products I showed you today, then you can leave those below. And I do keep an eye on that, and I try to answer as promptly as possible. So I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.